Welcome everybody back to another Boldcast reaction. I'm Carson.
I'm Lindsay.
And this is Naruto Shippuden, episode 55. What happened last time?
Last time, we're getting back into it. Sai is being real smooth. He's making up awesome nicknames for everyone, and everyone loves the nicknames. Naruto has been told by Kakashi that he's able to learn a new move, his own special jutsu, but that was interrupted, so we're gonna have to wait and see for when that happens.
Yeah, he has a reason that he has a some sort of strategy to help Naruto learn it quickly that only Naruto would be able to figure out. Yeah.
Well, it's also going to be Naruto's like own custom jutsu.
It will be his custom jutsu, but he's
figured out a way to accelerate that process.
Yeah, but he said that it would only work, like it would work for Sakura as well, but it would particularly work for Naruto. So we'll see what that's about.
Yeah, and also Shikamaru was just being cool as usual. I feel the need to mention that.
Cucumber. Gonna be checking out this episode. Hope you guys like and subscribe, and yeah, let's go. Support the official release. Forgot to say that last time. Support the official release, Netflix, Crunchyroll, whatever you gotta do, buy the manga, etc. Come here to hear what we have to say, not to watch the show. And check us out on Patreon to get a week ahead, which means 5 episodes ahead if you're watching on Patreon. Thank you very much for your support through these dark times of the Tenshi Bridge arc. We really appreciate that you guys stuck with us for that, so thank you very much. Ready to get on to it. Anything you want to say before we get going? Any last words? No. Any hopes? Any hopes?
I hope that this episode is as good as last episode, because last episode was a lot of fun.
Alrighty, let's go. Yeah, updated animation this episode.
You seem fine.
Look at that.
Good, you're cleared to leave the hospital today.
This isn't because you want me to hurry up and get my baggage out of here, is it?
Well, yes, there's that too. Fool Naruto has been camped out in this hospital room for days just so he can resume training the minute you recover.
Actually recuperated home for a few days before getting back into it. Since I've run out of reading material,
They're like peeled off.
I suppose I might as well start his training again.
That's the spirit.
Ramen for life. The animation is looking prime this episode. Nice cold open. That's good.
I love how he calls her ugly, even though he's like in love with her. I love that shot because it almost looks like they're like twisting into nothing, but they're not. They're just like twisting around in the background, like around of them. Yeah.
Okay, time to get to work. What's up?
Oh, nothing. It's just been so long since I've trained with you, Kakashi-sensei. I don't know exactly why, but I'm feeling really good about it.
Is that right?
Kakashi's hair is all shorter.
Laugh it up while you can. Time will not stand still for us. As I told you at the
not this music
the goal
again.
of this training is to create an ultimate ninjutsu, one that is uniquely your own. A jutsu that goes beyond the Rasengan. In order to do that, you'll need to master 2 techniques. How to change your chakra's nature, and how to change its form.
Change a chakra's nature.
Chakra's nature and change its form.
I thought maybe you could handle 2 things at once, but I guess I was wrong. We'll start with changing the chakra's form.
Right, got it!
Do your Rasengan for me.
Sure, no problem.
That was a cool like light
ready?
effect.
Let's do it!
Okay, stop. You've already mastered the change in chakra form.
Huh?
Your Rasengan has seen to that.
It has?
Compressing your chakra into a sphere and then making it spin like crazy at blinding speed? That's a change in form if ever there was one. Your Rasengan carries the technique to an extreme.
So then, I've already passed the first part?
Mm-hmm. That's about the size of it. The next step is the change in chakra nature. Okay, let's take the Chidori for example. This is a jutsu that requires accomplishing both a change in the chakra's form and a change in its nature simultaneously. First, I concentrate the chakra in my right hand. Then I change the nature of it so it's like an electrical current.
So that's the change in nature?
And now I change its form so that it will discharge at whatever range and power level I determine. secret. In order to move beyond the Rasengan to an even more powerful jutsu, you'll have to learn how to execute a change in chakra form and a change in chakra nature.
I'm already halfway there. All I gotta do is add this change in nature thingy to my Rasengan, and bingo, ultimate ninjutsu.
Listen, Naruto, I'm afraid it's not quite that easy. It's not something you just add on. And anyway, you don't know how to do it yet. I bet you don't even know the nature of your own chakra.
Huh? It's got a nature?
Well, I kind of figured it might be difficult making you understand all this. There are 5 basic types or natures of chakra. Fire, wind, water, lightning, and earth. The 5 great nations took their names from these 5 chakra natures. Foundation of all ninjutsu, and the foundation for everything we learn is Shinobi. Everyone's chakra falls under one of these 5 natures. Members of the Uchiha clan have fiery natures, which is why they excel at fire-style jutsu. Wind nature leads to wind-style jutsu, and lightning to lightning style, like the Chidori, which is, of course, a lightning-style jutsu.
Wait, so that means that someone like Sasuke has 2 natures going for him, both fire and lightning?
That's right, whereas right now, you don't have any. We don't even know which nature you're predisposed to yet.
What?
So we're going to find out using these slips of paper.
Whoa,
If
that's
you
kind
have
of cool.
lightning, if you have wind nature, it tears. A fire nature will make it burn. A water nature, the paper becomes wet. An earth nature, and it crumbles away.
That's kind of interesting.
Let your chakra flow into this paper, and we'll find out what nature you possess, Naruto.
Okay.
What do you think it is?
I don't know.
Take a guess. Any guess.
I don't know. It's gonna be like something different. He's gonna be special.
Well, now you know. Your chakra nature is wind.
Wind, huh?
Maybe that's why we
It's a
always hear the.
chakra nature that can sever almost anything in its path.
Oh, yeah! I knew it! I'm unstoppable!
Hold your horses. We've only just figured out what it is. Now comes the hard part. Learning how to properly use and control your nature. The problem is, normally it would take an incredible amount of time to really master this technique. But the good news is, I think I've hit upon a way to shorten our training time considerably.
Awesome!
The one way to do that is to...
Captain Yamato, what are you doing here?
Kakashi thought my special expertise might be of use. He asked me to help you with your training. Sorry, I hope I'm not interrupting anything, Kakashi.
No, not at all. I was just about to...
Hey, Captain Yamato! Which one of the 5 natures does your wood-style jutsu fall under, huh?
Good question.
Well, you see...
He may be a little unfocused, but at least he's enthusiastic. Go on. Go ahead. Tell him.
Right. Well... Earth style! Rampart of flowing soil!
Oh shit.
Water style! Waterfall basin jutsu!
Oh, that's so cool.
Isn't that fucking
That'd
cool?
be epic.
Just creates a cliff and a waterfall easy.
I possess both earth and water chakra natures.
Huh? You've got more than one of them? How'd you manage that?
Eventually, when you get to be a Jonin class ninja, you generally have 2 or more. There are other natures I can use besides lightning.
So that means Captain Yamato really has 3 of them, including his wood style?
Earth and water natures are the only ones that I can use. You see, technically, Naruto, there is no such thing as a wood nature.
Then how did you do that?
By combining the other 2. By activating the earth and water natures simultaneously, he's able to create something new, a wood nature.
Earth with my right hand,
That's
water
pretty cool.
with my left.
I always thought this was so dope. Like, learning all this stuff.
It's not that difficult to use each of them independently. To be able to activate and use both of them simultaneously. Well, that's a different story.
This ability to activate 2 chakra natures at the same time in order to create a new nature is known as Kekkei Genkai. I think you may have heard that term somewhere before, right?
Interesting.
Remember our battle with the one called Haku?
This is so cool.
Good.
The callback.
Haku had an ice-style Kekkei Genkai. He was was able to manipulate water and wind changes in chakras simultaneously to create ice. He was of a clan that possessed that Keke Genkai.
Who too, huh?
That's why I couldn't copy his jutsu with my Sharingan.
There's some
What about
things normal
Shikamaru's
people just can't
shadow
do.
Jutsu and Choji's expansion jutsu? And what about medical ninjutsu and genjutsu? How do they work?
To explain all that to you would take more time than we got. It would probably only end up confusing you.
Really
Save the
unfortunate.
discussion regarding the yin and yang of chakra nature until next time.
Huh? Yin? Yang?
Good point. Forget it. You wouldn't understand now anyway. So where were we before we got off track?
Eh? You said you knew a way we could cheat and skip the training time.
Reduce the time, not skip it.
Cheat and skip it.
Okay, so how do we do it?
How we do it is...
Wow. I'd be pissed off if I was 8 years old.
is through multi-shadow clones.
Huh?
They all
Yes,
do like
multi-shadow
training.
clones. That's the secret.
Sorry, I'm not getting this at all.
Right, I'll explain it to you, but you've got to pay attention, okay?
Yes, sir, but please keep it simple, sir.
I'll try. When the jutsu is released and you're restored to your single original self again, everything that each one of your shadow clones experienced is now inside of you, stored in your memory banks as a...
Didn't I ask you to keep it simple?
I guess you hadn't picked up on that, huh?
I have no idea what you're talking about. It was me a long time ago.
Let's both just go ahead and make some shadow clones, okay?
Shadow Clone Jutsu!
Good. Now we'll split up. Shadow clone Naruto, come with me.
Right, let's go!
What do you think's going on?
I don't know. Are they gonna like? I don't know.
Now there's no way that the team of originals outclone.
They're gonna like do something or like tell him something, and then when he goes back, they'll like know what the answer was or whatever.
Wait, that's it? Just rock, paper, scissors? That's no fun.
It's not supposed to be fun.
How about this? Loser buys the other guy an Ichiraku ramen lunch.
Okay, fine.
Alright, now it gets interesting.
Okay, guy.
Yeah.
So what is it our shadow clones are doing in there anyway?
We'll know soon enough.
I won! Looks like lunch is on you, Kakashi-sensei!
Okay. Let's just release this jutsu and get out of here.
You got it!
Do you know what the clones just did?
I sure do. They played rock, paper, scissors, and your clone lost. You owe me some Ichiraku ramen.
Was he thinking making deals like that? Anyway, you get it now, right? Whatever our clones experience, we experience. All of it. It's part of us now.
I guess I kind of just randomly made shadow clones before, so I never really noticed.
Now you see why this jutsu was originally used for gathering intelligence.
Okay, great. That's all really interesting, but I don't see what it's got to do with reducing the amount of time I'll need for training.
Hang on, don't worry. I'll just
How can't you see that?
Where Master Jiraiya found the patience to teach the Rasengan to this kid is beyond me. I mean, give me a break.
I mean, he just left him and went and
Yeah.
drank. Like,
Stole all his money and then left.
To put it another way, by training the two of you, you and your shadow clones simultaneously, we can cut your training time in half. Training 3 of you would take only 1/3 of the time,
3 of me would take only 1/3 of the...
and 1,000 would take 1,000th. Think of it. Training that would normally take 2 days to finish can be done in 1 with 2. Skills that would take 20 years to master by yourself can be learned in a
That's
week
pretty
with
cool.
1,000 clones.
Naruto's like, I really wish that I had thought of this.
yeah.
You should never, while we're training you to achieve
It's a fucking superpower. Like,
use your shadow
He could,
clones the
like,
whole time.
he doesn't even need the Sharingan. He can just learn anything he wants at his leisure in like one day.
well, he's also really dumb, so he learns
That's
at a
also
way
true.
slower pace.
I've never tried this method before.
Huh? But what's been stopping you? You can make shadow clones too,
Yeah, not
right?
like a million of them, as he just said.
I can't maintain them long enough to put them through an entire training regimen. My chakra simply isn't as powerful as yours.
Wait a minute. Do I really have that much more chakra than you have, Kakashi-sensei?
4 times as much.
Yeah, that much? Whoa, I really am awesome, aren't I?
If you weren't suppressing the Nine-Tails chakra, you'd have about 100 times as much.
That's why this form of training will only work for you, Naruto. But because it will require you to use a large amount of chakra, there's a danger that the Nine-Tails could be awakened. That's why I'm standing by. To make sure we keep the Nine-Tails under control. The person who injured Sakura was you.
You like how they reanimated this scene?
Yeah, I was gonna
just
say.
for the flashback?
Because he didn't have those, like, the speck of light in his eye before, did he? Or
Maybe
did
he did. It was just shittily animated.
I don't remember, because I remember him looking really dead inside.
And using only your chakra, tear the leaf in two.
Way harder than a piece of paper.
No sweat.
As I said before, you'll be doing this training with shadow clones.
No problem. How many shadow clones do you want me to make?
Well, let's see. If there's one of you per leaf, that many.
Such a badass moment. They're getting away. All right, boys. Without the music, this is a different scene. Oh shit.
He's already starting to tear some of the leaves. May not take as long as I thought.
Damn, that was a quick episode.
That was. I wonder what would happen if...
Oh, there's no more after credits, it looks like. Anyway.
Because obviously it, like, is maybe better, but, like, it could even go faster. Like, I don't know if there's, like, a limit or if it takes more to, like, produce a shadow clone than to maintain one. Because after each one, because it seems like they're going at different rates, potentially, like...
Recall it and then
split out again, and you can, like, minimize it even faster.
Mm-hmm. Well...
I don't know if that would make a difference.
When the Shadow Clone was originally, when I think it was Ebisu actually was explaining the Shadow Clone and chakra control to Naruto, he was saying that, like, you need a certain amount, and depending on how much you have, like, you basically split off a piece of your chakra. But if you have poor chakra control, then, like, there's a bit wasted. So theoretically, based on that explanation, although I don't think that's actually how it fully works. Based on that explanation, if you were to make if you had perfect chakra control, if there was literally nothing you could learn, you could make a shadow clone, and then recall it and get 100% of the chakra that you spent back. But generally speaking, you waste chakra making it. How much you waste depends on how skilled you are, and there's no preview anymore. That's pretty awesome. Or after credits.
But I'm sad about the after credits because they were really fun.
Yeah, but. Anyway, so yeah, that would be like the problem with that is that would be the best thing, but Naruto obviously isn't that good at chakra control. So the best thing to do would obviously be, oh, I made a breakthrough, recall all the shadow clones and then disperse them back. Because if you recalled that one, that chakra goes to the original. It doesn't go to all of the clones.
That's what I meant. Yeah. Like after like. So, like, cause I don't know, cause it didn't seem like they were all doing, like, maybe they were all, cause they're all the same person technically going at the same rate, but if for some reason some of them were getting it slightly faster, then, like, the more you, like, recalled all of them and reset all of them, all of them would have that upgrade.
Exactly, yeah. Exactly. But if they're all doing it at their own pace, so, yeah, the point is, like, recalling them and sending them back out, you're losing chakra each time. Yeah. And although
that's what I said. I was saying if it does cost it, then that wouldn't be good. But if it didn't, then that would make it even faster.
You pretty much got it. Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty cool. That's a really smart way of doing things. And it is kind of sad that because imagine if Naruto was really already like good at learning new jutsu, and then he could apply that technique to anything he wanted to learn, because like Naruto really wants to get better, but he's not very proactive of like, oh, I heard about this cool jutsu and I'd like to try it out for myself. But if someone tells him about it, then he's like, oh, I want to learn that. But he's not like looking for something himself.
Exactly.
But imagine if he was, and then he applied this training technique to anything that he wanted, he could get like really good really fast.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't even have to be for anything special. Like, this is obviously for something special, but it could just be for anything at all, and he could learn it super fast.
Yeah, like cooking, whatever, like literally anything.
Yeah, literally anything. He could do whatever he wanted.
It's literally a superpower. Like if a normal person, like in a world of people who can use magic, this is a crazy superpower. It's like it rivals the Rasengan, or not the Rasengan, the Sharingan. Not entirely, because you could just watch somebody do it and copy it. But yeah.
But he's definitely up there. Like, they were talking about, Sasuke is excelling so fast, and it's like, well, Naruto now also has the power, if he ever uses this again in any other application, to be able to do that to any move that he wants.
Yeah.
Whether he wanted to get better at literally anything, he could do it. So that's pretty cool.
But yeah, we learned a lot in this episode. All the chakra nature and chakra form stuff. That's finally been explained. I love getting the mechanics of shit like that.
Yeah.
After so long of like just, I guess some people can use lightning and fire moves.
Yeah, that's what I had been wondering previously, but I just sort of accepted it because I was just like, okay, well, maybe
some people are fire people.
Yeah,
but Kakashi can also use a million different ones, I guess, because the Sharingan.
Yeah, I guess I didn't really think of it as, I thought of, if it's like a Kekkei Genkai, then that's something that only they can do, and that's like born into them, and then maybe certain people, depending on their bloodline, are more, or just depending on how they were raised and what they wanted to learn, specialized in different things. But that's not the case. Apparently there's like a predetermined factor in it as to what things you'll be good at.
Yeah, it's a tendency, basically. You have a tendency towards a specific thing. It's kind of mirrors like different personality types in real life, sort of in that way. But yeah, it's really cool. But they made the distinction in this episode between Kekkei Genkai and like the Choji, Shikamaru, Ino stuff.
Yeah.
Although they didn't say Ino, because Ino's a girl, but they said the other people.
What about Choji, Shikamaru, and Ino's dad?
Yeah, yeah, so they made a distinction between like what Haku was doing in the Kekkei Genkai and those and that stuff and those things. And they said something about the yin yang of chakra nature.
Yeah.
Was teased there, but
Naruto's
too dumb for it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Imagine if Naruto like did all his shadow cleanse and then studied.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. It's cool. It's really cool. Like it's such like a breakthrough moment when I first saw it, I was like, oh my god, that's fucking genius. Because cutting like even having one shadow clone. The thing is also, I think I don't know if I don't know. It's not, I don't remember getting clarification if maintaining it does cost chakra.
It does, because like Kakashi said, he doesn't have as much. So if he has two, he runs out so much faster when there's two of him, because the clones are using chakra while they're being cloned. So he takes his chakra, puts it into other things, and then fuel. Each of them only, like, if he has this much, then each of them have this much. Yeah. But they can use that, and when they run out, then I guess...
Because, like, we're made out of, like, organs and blood, and we eat food as fuel, but that thing, the shadow clone, is just shadow, or whatever, like, air and chakra, just sort of formed into a person. So...
Yeah, but so that's interesting as well. But I guess if you have more chakra like Naruto, maybe you also like regain the chakra faster as well, so you can maintain them for even longer, even if they are all using chakra. It's an interesting thing. I like a lot of the explanations that we got in this episode. It makes more sense because a lot of the things didn't necessarily need an explanation, but now it's nice that they have it, so it doesn't just seem like they're just pulling stuff out of nowhere all the time. And it makes sense, of the Kekkei Genkai, of like, oh, Haku, that was the water and the wind combined together in that special way, and the wood is the earth, and it makes sense because they kept it so basic that it's not, oh, there's 50 different types of chakra, and these 5 combined together can create this or whatever, you know. Yeah. Really simple.
And it's also, there's an interesting thing that they didn't quite get into with this, and I don't think and I'm just thinking about it. So Haku and Yamato are different. Like, Haku's bloodline trait, that's Kekkei Genkai, Haku inherited that. Yeah. Whereas Yamato got that in a test tube and just happened to survive.
Yeah.
Because presumably his nature's aligned with.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I don't
theoretically speaking.
You theoretically, I don't know how you could test a baby for what kind of because obviously a baby can't force chakra into a piece of paper. But that would explain if he already just naturally had those two natures inside of him, but they also don't say whether or when he grew up he worked for one of them. He like had one and then he like worked to be able to use the other one, because like Kakashi said, once you're at the Jonin level you can have at least two usually.
Yeah.
So that would be interesting, like if Yamato was born with two, or he was naturally water, and then when he
got the first cells.
He got those, even if he still just had water, but then he grew up, and if he worked for Earth or something, or just also had an interest in learning that, and then he was able to use the wood style or something.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's a possibility. My headcanon was that he had, like... So, like, you have like, Naruto's first tendency is wind, but if he were, like, if he were Kakashi's age and had gone through all this shit, like, Kakashi learned earth style, that was his other one, and we've seen him do water as well. Like, if Naruto got to that level and was learning other ones, he would possibly have a different one. Yamato, like you said, yeah, exactly, grew up. That was basically my headcanon as well.
Yeah, so either or, and it seems like you can technically still use sometimes things from, like, if you're at the level like Kakashi, he can use things from natures that are not his own, but only because he understands, like, the shape of his chakra, so he can change it to match and be able to do that.
I think that's where you get into Sharingan territory, where because he has a Sharingan, he can do things that are, like, unnatural, because the Sharingan is such, like, an overpowered ability, a thing to have that you can, it transcends that to your like bodily stuff. So that's what's interesting about that. But I was gonna say, like, if you like grow up and then learn, like, say if your natural style is water, you grow up, you learn earth and can do water style and earth style, but from the beginning you had number 1 water and then number 2 earth as a baby, say if you're Yamato, and then all the other test tubes babies died. And presumably, like, my headcanon was that the reason Yamato survived was because he had those natures kind of in him. He had the tendency towards those styles, and then when combined with the first Hokage's cells, it wasn't like going against it's like an organ that his body wasn't rejecting, whereas the other ones were.
Yeah, I was also thinking of that as well.
Yeah, that was my headcanon. I don't know if they ever talk about that, but I think I just infer that based on that description. Yeah, so there you go. Anything else you want to say about the episode? Really cool Yamato's waterfall. The animation this episode, a lot of little subtle things I just want to say. Like when I forget exactly where it was, but like it would like do a black wipe and it would go to Kakashi's face, and for no reason he wasn't moving, and he wasn't moving in the previous thing before like it transitioned to the scene to like the shot of him. But the subtle animation things, they just added like a swoosh to his hair, like it stood up, like there was just a little bit of motion when he was just standing there doing nothing in both shots. Like they add just little bits of movement there to keep you engaged, and it's awesome.
I love when Kakashi's like points at the tree. That many.
yeah.
And Naruto just looks, the tree's just growing, and Naruto just looks at the tree like, I'm about to ruin this man's entire career.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Just brutally murders a tree. I mean, the tree's still alive, but...
And
that was pretty funny.
Kakashi owes Naruto lunch, so hopefully we get to see that next episode. Hope you guys enjoyed the reaction. We're moving right along. Anything you want to say before we get going?
Excited to see what, I mean, maybe it'll even get tied up all in next episode, because after that, unless they took a break in the middle of this like training session. Also, I wrote this down because I love that Kakashi, like when Naruto and Kakashi were standing there and Naruto was like just laughing for no reason. I love that Kakashi called him out and was like, stop fucking around. We don't have the time for this.
Yeah.
Because Naruto is always we gotta go, we gotta go, we gotta go, we
Yeah.
gotta do this. And then most of the time it's when they're padding for time, but then he just
Kakashi
starts
shuts it
fucking
down.
around.
Yeah.
And he does that all the time. Normally, like I said, padding for time, but they obviously weren't necessarily doing that. And Kakashi's just like, no, Naruto, we don't have time to be just laughing at each other right now.
We wasted all our time last arc
Yeah.
sitting around listening to the wind and Gregorian chants for 21 episodes. Yeah. Can't wait to get to the rest of this. Hope you guys enjoyed. Check us out on Patreon for a week ahead. If you're watching on Patreon, thank you very much for your support. Yeah, like and subscribe. We'll see you next time. I'm Carson.
I'm Lindsay.
Bye-bye.